Welcome back. Well, there's more to hitting than just swinging the bat. Without the proper mechanics and positioning, hits are going to be hard to come by for any player. Jason Andera has more on that in this week's edition of Diamond Tips.
Well, welcome back to Varsity Sports Now. Today for our Diamond Tips edition, we're joined by the director of Sanford Baseball Academy, Steve Phillips, who has quite a bit of experience teaching hitting, and he's going to share some of that with us today. We're going to talk about mechanics. Tell us how to get started when you're talking about baseball hitting mechanics.
Well, usually what I start with is the base, starting from the ground up. Typically when I'm working with kids, the first thing I ask them is, do they play basketball? And most say yes. And so I ask them to show me their defensive posture in basketball, and usually they widen their base and they sink down a little bit into their legs, and that puts them in a better, more athletic position, and that's usually where I start from.
So you start with that basic hitting position, then you move into the load. Tell us about that.
Well, the load is something that most hitting guys, most hitters, most hitting teachers believe that hitters need to have, something going back before they go forward. Guys at the big league level, there have been very few guys that have a small or no trigger, so most have something going back. Some call it a takeaway, some call it a load or a trigger. So you like to have the hands go back a little bit before they go forward, and your stride foot goes out a little bit. We just need to make sure that once they get to that position that they stay balanced somewhat between 60-40 and 50-50.
Okay, so now we're ready to start the swing. We talk about the actual bat path. What do you look for when you have to think about your bat path?
Well, the first thing I look for is making sure that the hands are going directly into the zone. A lot of times, especially with younger kids, sometimes it's because they're not strong enough. Their bat starts downward before it goes forward, and that tells me that they're going to work uphill. So we do everything we can to teach them about working directly into the zone and then going from there.
Another thing to look at is your actual follow-through. Now, what can you tell about somebody's swing by their follow-through?
Well, usually if they follow through and it's really low, or they fall off because they lose their balance, that tells me that they're not staying through the zone. And when they hit, typically they're going to roll over, they're going to miss hit some balls. So I try to get kids to think about hitting through two balls, pretending that there's a second ball behind the one that they're going to hit, to keep them into the zone longer. Well, the basic hitting mechanics, the points would be what you start with, and that is your base, having a good athletic base. You want to have something going back before you go forward, so you have some sort of load. And then you want your hands to go directly into the zone, making sure they don't go down or out away from your body as they approach the ball in the zone. And then making sure that you finish out through the zone, hit through two balls, so you can stay on path longer.
All right, great ideas, great mechanics, and you can call Steve here at the Sanford Academy, Baseball Academy, to get lessons if that's what you want to do. And thanks for watching this week, and next week we'll have more Diamond Tips for you on Varsity Sports Now.